You've spent your whole career being the one people rely on, the one who delivers no matter what. You've built a reputation most people in our industry would be phenomenally proud of. You're known as the one who gets it done, who keeps calm in the chaos, who carries the pressure without complaint. You're the go-to person. You've led the high-performing teams. You've delivered under impossible timelines. You know the ones. You've scaled faster than most people realize. And yet, leadership at this level in events can feel incredibly lonely. There are moments where the weight of all that success feels heavier than it should, when no one sees what it costs you to always be the one who holds it all together when everyone's falling apart, when the work that once lit you up now leaves you questioning if this is really it, when the pace, the pressure, the proving all feel endless. This video is for the leaders in events who have done everything right and are still wondering what's next, what's enough, what's for me. These are 20 truths every events industry leader deserves to hear. Whether you're running a team, running a business, or quietly carrying it all behind the scenes. This is part one. Let's dive into it. The industry rewards overworking, not outcomes. Let's start here. In this industry, burnout is often mistaken for dedication. Being the first one on site and the last one to leave, applauded. Running yourself into the ground to meet a deadline, expected. Taking pride in never taking a sick day, almost heroic. I've been there. But here's the truth. The events industry doesn't reward you for being effective. It rewards you for being available, for doing more, for staying later, for saying yes again and again and again. And if you've been climbing the ranks, you've probably internalized the idea that your worth is directly tied to your workload. But the real leaders, the ones building longevity, building legacy and sustainability in our industry, they're not actually working more. Here's the thing, they're working smarter. They're protecting their energy. They're not proving their stamina, like how many more reps they can do. And the sooner that you stop measuring your value in exhaustion, the sooner you're going to start leading from your actual power. Leading a team doesn't mean you're leading your life. Okay, there's a point in your industry career where leadership becomes second nature. So you know how to hold the room, you can manage timelines, you can manage budgets, you can manage personalities, of which there are many in this industry, and often you manage all of that at once. People look to you for answers, for decisions, for direction. But here's what no one tells you at this level. You can be an exceptional leader in your role, for your agency, for your company, and still feel completely disconnected from your own life. You can be steering million-dollar projects whilst quietly wondering when you last had a full day without emails, without firefighting, or without that last-minute pressure. You can be mentoring others and still feel like your own purpose is on pause. It's really easy in our industry to mistake professional competence for personal clarity. But the real leadership that we actually need doesn't just happen in the office, on site, on a site visit, in the boardroom, in a team meeting. It actually starts internally, and it starts with you asking, am I leading my own life, or am I just delivering on someone else's vision time and time again? And I promise you, once you start getting back in the driver's seat of your life, not just your business or not just your career, it's going to feel so much better for you. But you do need to focus on asking yourself every single day, how can I lead myself today? Okay, not just how can I lead my team, not just how can I lead my to-do list, but what do I need from myself? Okay, next up, you don't have to network yourself into exhaustion. Somewhere along the way, we in our industry were taught that visibility equals value, that the more rooms you're in, the more respected you will be. And that success is about shaking every hand. It's about attending every event, posting every single thing that you've ever done on LinkedIn. And don't get me wrong, connection really matters in our industry, we know that, but constant exposure without intention is going to drain you faster than anything else, and way faster than actually taking that time for you and focusing on the working on your business, not just working in it, being here, there and everywhere, seen and heard. And we all know the people that I'm talking about, the people who will go to the opening of a door, who are on every fam trip going, who are literally spending their lives in the London Excel, being seen and heard. And what actually comes of that, I don't know, because I feel like they only do it to post on LinkedIn. And here's what I really want you to know today. You don't need to attend every single awards night. You don't need to jump on every single trend. You don't need to be everywhere to be seen as someone who matters in our industry. What you actually need is alignment. The right stages for you to speak on, the right message to be shared, the right moments. This is strategic visibility, not just availability. When you show up from a place of truth, not just should, not obligation, not performance, you're not just seen, you're felt. You're respected, and that's what builds real credibility in our industry. Take it from me, I used to be that one who was at every single industry event, whether that was in the UK, in the US, elsewhere, I would be there, and I sacrificed a lot to be there. And I think, that definitely helped me out in the earlier stages of my career, but it also led to getting pretty burned out from it. And I am now at a place where maybe I attend one events industry event a year, probably max, and that is a very, very strategic decision. And yet my business is bigger than ever, my industry impact is bigger than ever. I am getting opportunities in my inbox all the time. I am almost always fully booked. My coaching programs, like that comes from being strategic, not being everywhere. Okay, the next truth you need to hear today. You're doing more than most coaches. Okay, I know I am one, but you're just not getting paid for it yet. Okay, this one is gonna hit across the board. Whether you are in-house on an events team, maybe you're leading a team, you're running your own business, you're running your own agency. If you've been in this industry long enough, chances are you are already coaching without calling it that. You're guiding clients through strategy. You're guiding your team through mindset blocks and major decisions. You're helping your team navigate things like conflict, performance, and growth on the daily. You are advising on things that go way beyond event logistics. And that isn't just doing delivery, okay? That's leadership, that's mentorship, that's coaching. But here's the difference. Coaches charge for that level of proximity and support. You might be rolling it into a day rate, a retained package, or just offering it out of habit because it feels easy or it feels expected. And that's fine if it's intentional for you. But if you're still doing emotional labor, strategic guidance, and identity level support without being recognized or compensated for it, that's what we need to talk, because that's a business model problem. So the question here isn't whether you can coach, it's whether you're finally ready to call it what it is and build a brand that gets paid for it. Okay? And this hits across the board. I always say, because I train events industry coaches and I certify you in coaching for our industry, and if you want to do that, I'm going to drop the link in the description here so you can grab it, so you can come and train to be a coach with me, so that you can actually do it and charge for it, whether it's a side hustle, part of your job, or an extra income stream, or your full-time thing like I've made it. But If you're the kind of person that is always getting those DMs from people like, can I just pick your brain? I'd love to hear how you did this. Oh my God, you're killing it. Can you tell me your secrets? Those are the kind of signs where I would be picking up going, it might be time for you to explore it. And if you do feel like this has kind of struck a chord with you and you are ready to explore that, then just send me a message, because it is the most rewarding thing ever, but it's got to be positioned in the right way. So the next truth is that event execution is not the only path to credibility in our industry. And this one's kind of linked, because for so long, the industry has conditioned us to believe that credibility comes from output. Okay, that if you want to be seen as successful, you need to keep delivering events, and you need to keep doing bigger things, bigger events, tighter turnarounds, higher budgets, bigger teams, you know, all the stuff. But at some point, execution starts to become a trap, and you get known for what you can do, not for what you know. And while being a safe pair of hands might build trust, it doesn't build a personal brand. At the highest level in our industry, credibility looks very different. It looks like thought leadership, okay? It looks like having frameworks, IP, perspective. The shift from executor to expert isn't just about your ego, it's about scale, sustainability, and freedom. And you don't have to prove your worth through output forever. Yes, do it to earn your stripes. Believe you me, you cannot just wake up one day, do one event, and suddenly become a thought leader. But you have built your stripes. If you're listening to this video, you probably identify as an events industry leader, which means you've probably been in our industry for a long time, right? And the real power comes when you start being recognized for your insight, not just your deliverables. It's time for another truth. Just because you can run an event on autopilot doesn't mean that you should, okay? Just because you can do it with your eyes closed. You have done the reps. You know what to do, you know how to do it, and you know where the fires usually start. You're the person that people call when they need it done right, and they need it done right fast. And that's exactly why you're at risk. Because when something becomes second nature, it's easy to ignore the signs that it's no longer aligned for you and your leadership. You can be brilliant at delivery and still feel completely drained by it. And this isn't about being tired, by the way. You can be the best in the business and you can still want to do something else. We have been taught in our industry that being able to do something means that we should keep doing it and keep doing it forever and ever for all of our career or all of our business. But staying stuck in a role, or indeed a business model, just because you're excellent at it, that's not strategy, okay? That is self-abandonment. If you're running on autopilot, this is what I need you to ask yourself. Is this still energizing me? Or is it just keeping me busy? So oftentimes we operate in our zone of excellence as event industry leaders because there is a lot of things that you can do very, very well. What I do with my clients is to help you get into your zone of genius. And this is a theory by Gay Hendricks in his book, The Big Leap. So you can go and look it up if it's interesting to you. But my real goal for all of my clients, the agency leaders, the event veterans that I coach, is to get you into the quadrant, which is called your zone of genius. And it's where you're operating in doing work that really, really lights you up and you're fantastic at, and which is scalable, and which is using your own unique experience and IP, not just doing the things that you're really, really good at, because chances are, if you're a leader in our industry, you're good at a lot of things. But something that I say all the time to my clients, and I want you to hear it as well, is that just because you can does not mean that you should. Next up, you will not scale if your entire business is built on being the safe pair of hands. This one is hard to hear, especially when being reliable is what has built your entire career. You've made a name for yourself by being the one people trust to deliver. And that reputation, it's really powerful. But here is the reality of it. If your positioning stops at "I'm dependable," okay? I'm there, I'm the go-to. You'll always be limited by time, by bandwidth, and by availability. Safe hands might get you booked in our industry, but they rarely get you seen as a visionary leader. Clients don't just want execution anymore, okay? Especially right now. They want guidance, they want insight. They want to trust that you can not only run the event for them, but you can help them lead through the uncertainty around the event, around the political landscape, the social landscape. The future of our industry belongs on those who shift from delivery to direction. You can still be safe hands here, by the way, but you do have to become a trusted voice too if you want to scale beyond what your calendar can currently hold. Next up, being available 24/7 is not what makes you respected in events. We have all worn this badge, me included. The late night reply, the weekend email, the emergency phone call that you took whilst you were out with your family, on a date night with your partner, out for brunch with your friends, and you think that you're showing commitment here. You think you're being a great leader, a great partner, a great professional, a great manager. But the truth of the matter with this is that being constantly available does not make you respected. It actually makes you a backup plan for your clients or for your C-suite. True respect comes from clarity, from boundaries, from being a person who operates with intention, not just urgency and availability. When you train your clients, your team and your audience to expect you at all hours, you become the product, not the expert. And when you're the product, your business or your career simply can't scale. Protecting your time is not selfish, it's super strategic. And the people who matter the most will respect you more when you do. And this is something that so many events industry leaders get really scared to do, which is setting intentional boundaries. But actually, boundary setting is the most powerful thing that you could do as a leader, because it's not just putting up walls, it's not pushing away, it's actually leading with intention. And chances are, if you do start implementing some really powerful personal and professional boundaries, your clients will respect you even more for that. Our next truth. The skills that got you promoted are not the same ones that will set you free. This is the growth trap that no one warns you about when you scale in our industry. You spent years becoming exceptional at delivery, at project management. You mastered logistics, the timelines, the negotiation, and resilience, and always under pressure. And those skills got you promoted. They made you the go-to, the leader, the expert. They maybe even got you to starting your own company and leading that. But at a certain level of leadership in our industry, those same strengths start to limit your growth. Because what got you here was the doing. But what will take you further from here is deciding. And if you want freedom, influence, scale, you need to shift from operational excellence to visionary thinking. That means creating IP, okay, intellectual property. This means packaging your frameworks, learning how to sell insight, not just time. If you're still relying on the same skill set that got you promoted 5 years ago, you're already behind. The next level requires a different identity. The next truth that I need you to hear today is that your nervous system isn't built for back-to-back peak performance. Let's get honest with this one about the physical cost of this work in this industry. Running events, leading people, making decisions under pressure always, it demands more than just mental resilience. It's a full body experience. But somewhere along the way, we started treating ourselves like machines, okay? And can you relate? Have you ever been that person that's like, oh, I'll just power through? That language, and I was so guilty of it, I have to catch myself. of, you know, the kind of language that I used to use and maybe sometimes slip into. And that's from being conditioned to only hustle. That kind of power through, power up, get through, that is like talking about a machine, okay, not like you as a human. So it's like, if we just get the morning routine, if we just get the caffeine, if we just get the to-do list right, we will be fine. But your nervous system, that's your internal control system, doesn't care how many tabs you have open or how many productivity planners you've got. It cares about how safe you feel in your business. And your nervous system tracks whether you are always in urgency mode, whether your calendar gives you the space to think or just to deliver. And I always say this to people, you know, if you feel like you're craving more and you feel like you just simply don't have the time, I will just say to you, show me your Google Calendar, show me what you're prioritizing, show me the time that you are giving to yourself. I also find that if people come to me and they're not at the level of income or impact in our industry that they actually want right now, chances are they probably don't realize this, but they probably actually don't feel safe internally to hold that level of success. And this is a nervous system rewiring that's required, not just doing more. You cannot build something sustainable if your body is in a constant state of survival mode. Regulated leadership is not a luxury. It is truly the only way forward for leaders in our industry. If this hit home for you, take it as a sign, because you are not the only one who has outgrown the version of success that you once worked so hard for. And you don't have to burn it all down to evolve in our industry. There is a way to turn your experience into something bigger, more impactful, more scalable. I've actually created a brand new free training that walks you through the exact playbook that I have used to become a multi-six-figure coach in the events industry, and how you can do it too, because if you know me, you know that I don't gatekeep. It's designed for senior level event professionals, for agency owners, for freelancers, solopreneurs, and industry experts who are already doing the work and are finally ready to get paid their worth for it. I'm going to put the link below. Make sure you show up for it, sign up, show up, take notes, and see what's possible when you stop building around your availability and you actually start building around your expertise. So I'm going to see you back here in part 2 next week. Drop me a comment below and let me know which of these truths you most needed to hear today, and click subscribe. It really helps me grow this channel so I can provide even more content for you. And I'd be so grateful if you sent this to one of your industry peers or your network who might need to hear these truths as well today. See you back next week for part 2.